Okay, I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Sacramento Area Sewer District for Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll and establish a quorum?
Directors Desmond, Dickinson.
Here.
Hume. Kaplan. Kennedy. Hull.
Oh, Hull, here, Sophie's here, Hull, here. It sound like
Plucky Bomb.
Sorry, is that me?
No, Plucky Bomb.
Oh, okay.
We're off to a great start.
Aquino.
Here.
Robles. Here. Rodriguez.
Here.
Sander.
Here.
Soon. Villegas.
Yes.
Karpinski Costa.
I'm here.
And Chair Cerna.
Here.
You have a quorum with the members that are present.
Very good. Please read our statement.
Yes, this meeting of the Sacramento Area Sewer District is live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the local government affairs channel, on the Comcast and DirecTV UVerse cable systems. It is also live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Sunday, July 26 at 9 a.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. Once posted, the recording of this meeting can be viewed on demand at youtube.com/Metro Cable 14. SacSewer board members are compensated $100 for their participation in board meetings. Compensation for Sacramento County supervisors and City of Sacramento and Citrus Heights council members is paid to the county and cities respectively to partially offset the cost of those governments. Compensation for other agencies is paid directly to the individual board members. Compensation for these legislative body meetings is verbally disclosed at each board meeting in accordance with California Government Code Section 54952.3. To make an in-person public comment, please complete a speaker request form and hand it to the clerk. The chairperson will call your name when it's your turn to make a comment. If you would like to make a public comment in the Zoom, please raise your digital hand and the clerk will unmute you when it is your turn to make a comment. You may send written public comments by email to boardclerk@saccounty.gov. Your comment will be routed to the board and filed in the record. This concludes your announcement, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Director Sander, will you please do us the honor of leading us in the pledge?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Salutes. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, again, I'd like to welcome everyone to this morning's proceedings of the Sacramento Area Sewer District. We have another board member joining us here shortly, and I know we have at least one member of the public that wishes to address the public or address the board on matters off agenda. So with that, Madam Clerk, our first item.
Our first item are the consent matters to approve items 1 and 2.
Okay, direct.
Second.
All right. Apparently, directors do not have any questions or comments. All right, we have a motion second. Madam Clerk, do we have any members of the public that wish to address the board on this matter?
Not on this item, but if you would like to make a public comment in the Zoom, please raise your digital hand and the clerk will unmute you when it's your turn to make a comment. You have 2 minutes to make your public comment.
I assume we have no one in the Zoom.
You have no one in the Zoom.
All right, very good. We have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Your motion passes unanimously, 11-0.
Very good. Next item, please.
Your next item is comments from the public on issues not on the posted agenda. We do have one speaker slip.
Okay, Ms. Montero? Or is it Montero or Montano? Montano, okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Cerna and board. My name is Andrea Montano, founder of Roof Over My Heart, a nonprofit focused on research, consumer protection, and public education around alternative housing, including our work in open paths for movable tiny homes. I'm here this morning simply to applaud you. Your new treatment and resource recovery ordinance does something that matters a great deal to the families we serve. We help make small residential units more affordable, and your exempt accessory dwelling units from sewer impact fees. You've assigned multifamily and age-restrictive homes fewer equivalent dwelling units than a full-size home, and you've waived fees proportionally for affordable housing. Taken together, that is real leadership, and you have been instrumental in it. What you have done reaches beyond one fee schedule. A proportional approach to impact fees is part of a larger shift towards making small homes genuinely attainable, and that conversation is spreading. We've now reached the city of Sacramento, where these same ideas are being explored, and we are grateful for the opportunity to help move forward. We understand the final fee calculations are still being completed, and we look forward to seeing those soon. We're not here to ask for anything today. We simply did not want your leadership on behalf of smaller, more attainable homes to go unremarked. On behalf of Robin Davis of West Sacramento and families who live in the small homes, I just want to say thank you. Before I go, an invitation with my thanks. I'm leaving a broadsheet with our mission and 10 complimentary tickets with your clerk before I leave. Each one is good for up to 2 people. If you like more, feel free to send me an email and the number of tickets that you need, and I'd be happy to leave a will call for you. They're for the Tri-County Home and Garden Show in Roseville. That's taking place October 14th through 16th. It's a personal favorite of mine. They're expanding the garden goodies, the builders, the vendors, teas, local honeys, jams, among my favorites. And I will confess that they're my weaknesses, plus plenty of activities for kids and family, fun for the whole family. And so we are doing a speaker seminar on Saturday at 2 p.m. I'm hosting a open panel with Q&A, more than builders, the people that are actually making tiny homes a real answer. And we would love and we would be honored to have you in the room. Thank you for your time and for your service to our region and our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Montenhill. Appreciate the gesture. If you could just make sure the clerk receives the materials that you brought, and please be aware we do have law that governs the acceptance of freebies, so to speak. Very generous of you. So she'll make sure that we make sure our T's are crossed and I's are dotted. Appreciate your time. Thank you. All right, that concludes our off-agenda speakers.
Let me check with the, if you would like to make a public comment in the Zoom, please raise your digital hand, and the clerk will unmute you when it's your turn to make a comment. You have 2 minutes to make your public comment. And it looks like they're just listening in.
Okay, very good. So we do have folks online that are monitoring.
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, with that, our next item, please.
Item number 4 is miscellaneous district engineer matters. Presenter Christoph Dobson, district engineer.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair and board members. This meeting should wrap up fairly quickly, but we do have a couple of critical items. So I just want to mention that our next meeting, the August 12th meeting, will be canceled. So August 26th will be our next meeting after this. We will have a full agenda at that one, so we'll look forward to attendance. And that's all I have.
Very good. Thank you, Christoph. I'll take this opportunity to thank you and your staff for hosting a tour earlier this week for my staff. I made the comment not too long ago that all of our directors should take you up on the opportunity to the extent that we have district staff available. Not all of us do, but some of us do. That they should avail themselves to learn firsthand the operation and the magnitude of the service that Sacramento Area Sewer Service provides down in Elk Grove. So I'm glad that I believe I had 3 members of my staff.
Yeah, there were 3. We had a wonderful time.
Yeah, terrific. They came back very, very impressed. And even Alma Munoz, my chief of staff, who was actually the clerk for this august board for several years, had not seen it before. So she had lots to share in the affirmative about her experience here. So thank you. All right. Anyone offline that wishes to address the directors on the district engineer's comments?
If you'd like to make a public comment in the Zoom, please raise your digital hand, and the clerk will unmute you when it's your turn to make a public comment. You have 2 minutes to make your public comment. It appears we have 2 just listening in.
Very good. Thank you. Next item, please.
Okay, Mr. Chair, item 5 is collection of delinquent sewer service charges on the property tax roll. Presenter Tepa Banda, Director of Finance.
Morning, Tepa.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of the board. This item is public hearing. So on the May 27th, we had this board passed a resolution of intent to levy these delinquent sewer charges on the property tax roll. But before that happens, this hearing is required. So part of this item would be to open and close a hearing on this. On the decision to transfer the delinquent service charges to the property tax roll. As of June 2026, which is just last month, when the last report was ran by our billing partners at CABS, there was 17,701 accounts that were identified as delinquent for a total of 15.3 million. Normally, the good thing is this number is much lower. The number of accounts is about 13% lower than last year, so which is a good trend that less of our customers are getting delinquent. The amount is slightly higher. The average amount per customer is slightly higher, but I think the number of accounts being that much lower is a positive. And normally by August, when these charges are finally transferred to the property tax roll, these numbers tend to go down. Over the last few years, we've seen about a 2% decline in that number. So we think the 17 might be much lower than, maybe 15 by the time it's transferred. So that concludes my remarks. I will let the clerk call the hearing and the rest of the process.
Okay, is this a formal open and closed hearing protocol that I have to follow here?
Yes.
Okay. All right. First, before I do that, any questions of Mr. Banda? Seeing none, I'll open the public hearing. Do we have anyone that wishes to address the directors on this matter?
We do not have any speakers in public, but if you would like to make a public comment on the Zoom, please raise your digital hand and the clerk will unmute you when it's your turn to make a comment. And we have the same two participants just listening in.
Okay, very good. I'll close the public hearing then, in that case, and bring it back to the board. Entertain a motion.
I'll move approval. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Please vote.
Your motion passes unanimously, 11-0.
Very good. Thank you. Next item, please.
Mr. Chair, your next item is establish an ad hoc committee to address quorum issues. Presenter Mike Hewitt, Director of Policy and Planning.
Good morning, Chair, members of the board. Mike Hewitt, Director of Policy and Planning. I'm here to recommend that we set a board ad hoc quorum subcommittee to increase our ability to meet quorums. Last month, Christoph presented recommendations to consider for helping to get quorums. Discussions ensued between board and staff and also amongst board members. And there is an overall consensus to establish a subcommittee, really depending on the outcome. Later in the day, Christoph had a meeting with Mayor Kevin McCarty to talk about it as well. And that also supported having a subcommittee. So what would a quorum subcommittee look like? Well, the purpose of it would be to provide a forum to collaborate and brainstorm ideas, to enhance board attendance, and also to consider establishing a process for onboarding new board members if the SacSewer annexes other cities and counties. The length of this committee, an ad hoc committee can last for up to a year. We expect this one to conclude by December, maybe a meeting or two. And the committee members. So we suggest that the quorum subcommittee include a supervisor from the county of Sacramento, the county of Yolo, one council member from the city of Sacramento and Elk Grove, and then a council member from one of the remaining smaller cities. That would be at least 5 members. And so the schedule, if we get that approved today, the committee itself, and get the members identified, we'll go ahead and schedule a meeting, the first meeting as soon as schedules align. So with that, I'll turn it back over to the Chair Cerna to help facilitate the board's approving of this committee and then also establish the members.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mike. Before we do that, do we have anyone offline or online that wishes to address us on this matter?
Let me check. If you'd like to make a public comment in the Zoom, please raise your digital hand. The clerk will unmute you when it's your turn to make a comment. Apparently, we still have the same two listening in.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mike, you're going to have to just remind me as we go along in our brief discussion here about the composition that you're recommending.
Yep.
So I'll start. I feel some responsibility for bringing this matter before us. So I would certainly volunteer as a Sacramento County supervisor to participate. Did you say one or two Sacramento County?
One County of Sacramento board member,
Okay.
and then also one from Yolo County.
Okay. However, having said what I just said, if there's a passionate colleague of mine that wishes to participate, I'm certainly willing to let that individual be the committee member from Sacramento County. Seeing none. All right. Then you said one member from Sacramento? City of
Yes,
Sacramento?
yes.
I would nominate my fellow council member, Phil Pluckybaum, who's watching online.
All right. That's why I wanted to get public
press it to
comment first, right? So public comment is now shut, Phil. Okay. All right, very good. And then you also mentioned, Mike, one member from either Citrus Heights, Rancho, Cordova, or Elk Grove? Is that right?
So one from Elk Grove, and then one from one of the remaining cities. So one from Elk Grove and one from Rancho Cordova, Folsom, Citrus Heights, or West Sac.
Okay. How about, let's do check with Elk Grove. Okay.
And Folsom is happy to do it as the
Okay, very
suburban
good.
city.
Thank you.
Unless David is chomping at the bit.
All right, so I'm hearing interest from Citrus Heights? No? David?
We just need one. Folsom.
Oh, we just need one. That's why I needed Mike to guide me here.
Yep.
All right, so
Yep.
do we have, are we set then?
If we can get one from Yolo County,
Yolo
that'd
County.
be great.
Mr. Villegas. Trying to hide over there.
How many choices do we have there?
All right, very good. Okay, so the commitment is one, maybe two meetings between now and December?
That's what I foresee, yeah.
Okay, very good. In preparation for those meetings, I assume staff will be very prepared with things like scheduling for these chambers, what it entails when we don't have a quorum. For instance, the frequency that we have must-dos that are very time-sensitive would be helpful for us to kind of understand the time sensitivity in general relative to our duties here. So I think you get my drift, is that we want to be fully armed with everything that affects our ability to, and expectation for us to perform here, and the time commitments, et cetera, et cetera. Director Kennedy.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to, when you go into your deliberations, I just want you to be aware of the fact that up until recently, 2 members of the Board of Supervisors and 1 member of the Sacramento City Council who were on this board also served on the continuum of care, which was a fairly new thing to happen.
Good point.
And that is changing. So
Oh, good.
Okay.
That,
All right,
that
so-
shouldn't be an issue there.
Good to know.
Terrific. So that's very good
Yep.
to know, that we don't, at least we can check that box that conflict is now over. Director Dickinson.
I was just going to say, in case Councilmember Pluckybaum has difficulty scheduling, I'm willing to be a backup.
Great. Thank you. All right. I think you have what you need, Mike.
Yes, thank
We
you.
don't, Diane, we don't need any formal action. Okay. Very good. Christoph, you look like you wanted to say something.
Well, I just maybe want to check and make sure, because we did ask that the board approve the formation of the committee. Is that okay? We don't need to do that.
Is there a motion? We'll belt and suspenders this. Is there a motion? Okay, it's been moved.
I'll second.
It's been moved and second. Please.
Mike, are you taking comments on this?
Sure.
So, I just want to give my opinion. I think this is one of those situations where it's over-processing instead of maybe on the administrative level, figure out what is happening that is prohibiting people from being able to attend the meeting. And so what I do, I'm an alternate for many of my colleagues, and I have my executive assistant check in to make sure that I'm not going to be needed in case they need to have someone on RT or SACOG. So I think maybe doing some of that work first, and then now we know that the COC is changing, so it appears that now we're not going to have a problem getting those two supervisors and the one council member. But this is, I think, one of those situations where I think we are over-processing and over-complicating the problem instead of addressing it on the level of what is prohibiting people not using their alternates to attend the meeting, and is there enough communication happening? So I'm going to vote no, but I do support them getting together, but I just think, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Before I go to Director Karpinski-Costa, I would respectfully disagree with that because, and maybe that's attributable to newness on this board. However, not all of us have similar meeting schedules. Not all of us are coming from the same jurisdiction. Not all of us are investing the time that, for instance, I don't give it much consideration because I come here to do my job as a supervisor. It's kind of the home base. We all go out into our districts and our communities. But we have others that are traveling from much greater distances, investing the commute time to and from the meetings. So I understand why on the surface someone might say, really, you need a committee for this? Well, it's to get the affected parties. I think that's why Mike suggested the composition as he did, to have that conversation, not amongst the totality of the directorship here, but through a committee. And plus, it's hopefully it's one, not two meetings, one meeting. So I don't think it's asking a whole lot. Director Karpinski-Costa.
Well, then I'm going to respectfully disagree with you and agree with Supervisor Rodriguez. It seems to me that the people who are not here are the people we should say, why aren't you here? What's the problem? And then you could just attack that problem. Now that you have less conflict, I'm on another board that meets the same time as this. For the other board, I send my alternate. And so I'm happy that you're canceling August 12th because I can go in person to the SETA board advisory board. And so I consider this to be my primary duty, and I'm here first. So I just think that you need to ask the people who aren't here why they aren't here, and I think the two vacancies on the Sac City Council create an opportunity for lack of a quorum. And so if that was fixed, and the people who have conflicts, I mean, it seems to me you don't need to go through this rigmarole I agree with Supervisor Rodriguez.
Understood.
So I will be voting no, and that's for the reasons. Thanks.
Okay, very good. Did not anticipate this to be controversial. Mike, I assume that we'll also be looking at the policy to the extent that we have a robust policy, which I don't know that we do, about alternates and when they get triggered or absences. And if you're absent so many times, perhaps then you go back to the well at that respective jurisdiction for someone who may be better capable of making the meetings based on their personal schedules or interested because perhaps they're new on that member jurisdiction. So there's more to it than just, hey, the continuum of care is moving their board meeting, hey, it's problem solved. There's, like I said, there's more to that, and I think out of respect for those that have given of their time to participate, I think it's worth at least having the one conversation. Again, it's one meeting. We're not talking about a year-long committee structure here.
That's correct. We will look at the alternates, who can be alternates, how many, and what type of alternate you can have. That's part of the evaluation that we'll bring to the first meeting.
Okay, very good.
And just to add to that particular fix is legislative, so there potentially is more to this than just getting everybody to come.
Thank you for that. That's important. All right, we have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Your motion passes 9-0 with 2 voting no.
All right, very good. Next item.
Item number 7 is miscellaneous board member matters.
Oh, wait, did I ask for public comment on the last one?
You did earlier, but they
Okay,
had
great.
comments after.
Just making sure. All right, I'm sorry I interrupted.
Just for the record, it's the same two people that are in the Zoom. If you'd like to make a public comment, please raise your digital hand. Okay, again, they did not respond.
Okay.
All right, again, item number 7 is miscellaneous board member matters. That's the board member.
All right. Any board members have anything to contribute? All right, seeing none, do we have anyone that wants to raise their digital hand?
Same two online with no response.
All right, and then the last section of our agenda is communications received and filed, is it
Yes,
not?
that's correct.
All right, very good. All right. Oh, did you?
Sorry, whoops, hit the wrong.
Okay, Roger?
Thanks. I just wanted to, on the legislative summary, if you could put the status of the bills, not just what they would do and whether there's support or opposition, but what's the status? Is the bill pending in
Committee.
Committee? Is it dead? Is it? It's not terribly helpful to read a list of bills and not know where they are in the process.
Okay,
So
will do.
If I could just make that request for the next
No,
time.
it's a good recommendation. Thank you. All right. If there's no further business in front of this board, then we are adjourned.